The Republicans are in charge of Congress. Congress is supposed to be the one that spends the money. And my question is, how can Barack Hussein Obama seems to be spending more than Congress? It just doesn't look right. I mean, it doesn't feel right.
Could you repeat the question specifically?
How come every time Obama turns around, he says, I'm going to spend $1 billion here, $1 billion there, I'm king. And the Congress is supposed to be the one that spends the money.
Well, I think Congress still is authorizing the expenditures.
So
we have a budget, right? I mean, the money is budgeted and authorized. We still have a budget. We're operating on an old budget. We're continuing the same budget again and again and again. We're not putting a new formal budget together, but we're still operating under these continuing budgets. So essentially, we are authorized to spend a certain amount. It's just that the Congress has not shown the spine to stop the raising of the debt, the continuing ongoing expenditures with built-in increases of 10, sometimes 10, 15%. I mean, until we stop that kind of automatic increase that's built into the system, you can't keep that. I mean, you can't stop that. It's built in unless we stop the automatic built-in. So, I mean, the one way you do it as Congress is you refuse to raise the debt. That's how you stop it. You don't borrow anymore.
There are 2 points to this answer. The first is our current leadership in the Republican House lacks the courage to shut down the government.
Right. Now you're getting
If we're willing to play that constitutional card, stand on principle, not raise the debt ceiling, and shut down the government, will force Obama to the table. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see whether Obama can actually play chess. The problem is, our current leadership is so weak they get beat at checkers. And it's embarrassing to me as a conservative, and it's frustrating to me as a dad that wants to provide for my children. The truth is, you have to send someone back that not only has the courage to shut down the government, but has the right type of experience to articulate it in a framework that the normal person can engage so that we can win the argument. Because if you keep sending back the typical lobbyist, lawyer, and career politician, they can't make the argument, they lose in front of the national audience, and they get whipped at chess every day, and it's very, very frustrating. The second thing I would say is, keep in mind, when you go back, and when you send someone back, you've got to send someone back that can win. Not just legislate votes, and then go play around the golf with Obama, but beat him. That's what you have to do, and you have to have the courage to do it. I will be that man for you.
Well, I think the answer to your question is Congress, to some extent, is abdicating its responsibility by essentially giving the discretion to the executive branch to actually determine how the funds are ultimately parsed out. So they will grant to a certain department X amount of dollars, but they won't specify how it's being spent. So I think that explains to some extent what's happening there. Ultimately, of course, this comes back to the fact that Congress hasn't had to balance the budget because we have a Federal Reserve that's willing to print money. And that's really what's causing all of this. Congress refuses to face up to reality because they don't have to. They can fool the public by taxing them every day by reducing the value of the currency in their wallet or in their bank accounts. That's the big fraud that's being perpetrated on us right there.
I think we have to pursue a balanced budget amendment to, again, to create the conditions to hold our feet to the fire. But more importantly, I think where the real cost escalations are coming is in entitlements, and that's going to take a bipartisan, pragmatic approach to addressing those cost increases. Unfortunately, it's got to be done in a manner that protects the benefits of those who are currently retired, but start bending the cost curve quickly and effectively. And unfortunately, I just don't see that happening on a single party doing that.